Hey guys, what's up? My name is Anthony, and welcome to another edition of BnA Sports Talk. Now, I've been trying to do all the teams' previews for the 2019 NFL season. Obviously, I don't want to rush any. I want each one to be quality. I want each one to get better and better, so I'm not going to just rush all of them out. So today we're going to do the Bills, and we're going to recap last season, see how the free agency went, see what they should do for the draft, and finally, see what their ceiling floor is for next year and their future. Okay, so recapping last season, it came off to a really bad start. So you had the first game, you lost 47-3. You had Nathan Peterman as your starting quarterback, and it was chaos. To highlight this chaos, there were so many memes going around. Vontae Davis, Pro Bowler for years and years, decided to retire, and the Bills became a joke. Everyone's like, oh, they're going to be 0-16, yada yada. And then next week they came out and they completely destroyed the Vikings, who were showing some promise this year to become a playoff team with Kirk Cousins and everything. And a thing that highlighted this game was Josh Allen's leap. Josh Allen really came strong for this team. He actually set some NFL records. He had the most rushing yards in 3 consecutive games than anybody ever. That little white dude, now he's a pretty big white dude, but the white dude had the most rushing yards. Just picture that for a second. And this Bills team really did rally together. Looking at it, they had one of their offensive linemen, Kyle Williams, retire, Pro Bowler for years and years. And I think that his leadership in the locker room, as well as the defensive locker room, really did help this team, eke out. I like their spirit. The whole Buffalo thing, I don't know what it is about Buffalo, and I guess it's cold, whatever. Nobody wants to go to Buffalo. You had the whole thing with Antonio Brown. A bunch of players now want to go to Buffalo. But all of these players that are there, they want to play for Buffalo. The players that they do end up getting, they really do want to play. And Kyle Williams really highlighted that. He kind of brought this whole locker room together and made everyone fight for Josh Allen. Josh Allen wasn't the greatest quarterback. He made some mistakes. He threw some interceptions. He fumbled the ball. But I really do think, going into this year's draft, Jawan Taylor is your guy. I do not trade back. I get Jawan Taylor. If the Giants don't get him, if the Lions don't get him, whoever may get him doesn't get him, Jawan Taylor is your guy. If not, I think you still need a little more talent and defensive tackle around there. Your cornerbacks are good. Cornerbacks are fine. We'll get into that a little bit later. But I think you lose Kyle Williams. You replace Kyle Williams right away. And they added some offensive weapons for Josh Allen. I think of good value. You had Cole Beasley, who's like Julian Edelman, just a little bit smaller in frame. He'll get open. He'll find opens. But all their tight ends combined don't even have 1,000 yards in their career. This is kind of concerning. I think you need someone that you can just dump the ball off if you're Josh Allen. Sean McCoy is getting a little older. Shady McCoy, I don't know. I don't know about his health. I don't know. There's a lot of question marks surrounding him. So what do? You signed running back Frank Gore. I don't love this. I don't love this at all. I think you need a little bit more talent at the running back position. I liked how LaShawn McCoy and Josh Allen both worked together, and the time that they had last year that was limited. But I really don't like what they did with the running back position. I really don't understand what they were doing. You look at the names: Patrick DeMarco, Keith Ford, Marcus Murphy. None of that inspires confidence in you. And their wide receiver depth this year: Cole Beasley, Victor Bolden Jr., Josh Brown, Robert Foster. I'm not too sure about this team. I'm not too sure about their wide receivers, but I think, hey, you added enough wide receivers. You do not get DK Metcalf unless you want to get him at the 40th overall pick. Honestly, if you can get Noah Fant or TJ Hawkinson at 40, I don't think he's falling. Maybe get Irv Smith Jr. I think that's when you take your tight end, because Jason Kroom, Jake Fisher, and Tyler Kroft, I don't think are going to work out that well. That's just me. You didn't really lose a lot of players in the offseason. Just taking a look at the list of players you lost, there's only one, John Miller. And the Cincinnati Bengals paid him for about $7 million a year, $6 million a year, and there's that. So, they did make a lot of good moves on the offensive line. You have Mitch Morse as your center now. You signed him to a 4-year, $44 million deal. You need that for Josh Allen. Have him to, have a nice camaraderie, have them understand each other, and a veteran like that, I think, is perfect for the Bills to add. Spencer Long got added to a 3-year contract at the center and guard position, but I still think you need some more talent on that offensive line, because they did have, I think, the 25th or 26th ranked offensive line last year. So you need to give Josh Allen some time. He made too many plays with his legs, and that's not sustainable. You just making plays going around because the Bills didn't have anything else. You need to just put him in that pocket for him to succeed. You need to just teach him how to be a pocket passer, and you're good. I love their coach, Sean McDermott. He's perfect. He's from the Carolina Panthers. He was on the staff when he was a defensive coordinator actually when that Panthers team made it to the Super Bowl. he just has the Buffalo mindset. With as far as Antonio Brown and whatever, he's like, oh, Antonio Brown, okay, if he doesn't want to be here, don't be here. We don't want guys like you. And I think this mindset's perfectly fits into the mindset of Kyle Williams and a couple other defensive leaders. Though they only had one person that they really lost in the offseason, the loss of Kyle Williams I think is going to be really important for this team. Usually a quarterback like Josh Allen, like Mitch Trubisky, like Jared Goff in the past, have taken a leap in the second year, but that was with the new coach, that was with the new system when the first system kind of held them back. Josh Allen is in the same system as last year, and we'll see whether, a lot of players on this defensive team, they're young, and whether they take that role to be, to be leaders in the locker room. Does Josh Allen take the role? Who takes that role? Who fills the gap in this locker room? I think it'll be very interesting to see as the season develops. It's not like the Ravens where you had a lot of veterans on that defense. Like linebacker Matt Milano, according to Pro Football Focus, he's gotten way better from last year. His stats have skyrocketed, and this really is important for the Bills because they had, not to be mentioned, the top 3 defense last year, and along with the Bills, along with the Ravens and the Bears, they had one of the top defenses last year. This really helped inspire confidence in Josh Allen, and Josh Allen needs to start playing better, or like the team needs to start succeeding, or else the defense, like the Jaguars, isn't gonna be excited to play hard. If it's like, oh yeah, the offense is gonna score another point. Josh Allen did really well last year when the pressure was on. He had blowout wins against Miami. He was just impressive throughout the entire year. I feel like every single week he was making a play. Just like he had a lot of flashes. That's the thing you look for your rookie year. You just have a lot of flashes of greatness. Obviously, things as a rookie quarterback, there's a reason you were taken that low, because the team wasn't good the year before and they're looking to move on. That's the reason why. Now, looking at their defense, you have Jerry Hughes, you have Tre'Davious White. He did suffer a little bit of a sophomore slump, but I think a lot of names on this Buffalo Bills defense either that it's just like, oh, this is their guy, this is the guy. They don't have the Legion of Boom, they don't have Earl Thomas, they don't have Richard Sherman. It's a bunch of guys that are just playing real well together. Not to mention their first round pick last year, Trayvon Edmonds, who did really well this season. After midway through the season, he didn't really play well in the beginning, but signs and flashes towards the end of the season showed that this guy can be a future, Pro Bowler for years and years to come, which is a good sign for Buffalo. It's just a bunch of youth talent. You also had Levi Wallace, who overperformed. You had Jerry Hughes, that was good on the edge, and Micah Hyde. Just a bunch of breakout players last year. It's just like, whoa. Now, are these players probably going to take a little bit of a step back this year? Maybe. So that's why I think you need another just edge rusher to create a disturbance to help your team that really did struggle on third downs and really did struggle with run defense. You need to get more pressure on the quarterback, and adding a defensive lineman in round 2 I think will be ideal. So number 1, you need an offensive lineman. Number 2, defensive lineman. And if you can get a tight end or running back for Josh Allen, I think that would be cream on the pie. If that cherry on the ice, I don't know. But you do have around 10 picks this year. You have some late picks, so you need to get some talent on the offensive line, defensive line, building the trenches. You're in Buffalo, you're up there. As far as their ceiling and their floor next year, let's take a look at their schedule. It's easier than most years that they had in the past. So their average is 480. That's the win percentage from last year. And I think their max, they can get around 9 wins this season. I don't think they're a playoff team this year, but I think with a couple more pieces, they're on the fringe of the playoffs. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they did make the playoffs, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're a top 5 pick next year. They're in that frame like Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or in that frame like Cincinnati Bengals, where I can definitely see them making a run for the wild card at the end. It just depends how the season plays out. Now, I think in a couple years, as far as Josh Allen goes as a franchise quarterback, who do I compare him to? I think he's a little bit, first of all, he has a strong arm like Joe Flacco, and he can move. He reminds me a lot of Mitch Trubisky. If you surround him with the pieces, obviously, he'll be good. But this team is very much situated on defense. And this is kind of concerning to me, how, the Bears had a lot of success when Matt Nagy came and Mitch Trubisky can do stuff. But I think Josh Allen has more playmaking ability than Mitch Trubisky. He can make things happen. Mitch Trubisky is a little bit more reliant on the system, while Josh Allen can just rely on his pure talent because he has a lot of it. Yes, he'll make mistakes. Yes, he has a big arm and he is a Joe Flacco type and he'll throw interceptions. But that will ultimately make them, better. That will ultimately get them over the hump when they need to be the best. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think the Buffalo Bills can do. As far as their Super Bowl window, I would say the Super Bowl window is about 3 years away. Once the Patriots start dying down a little bit, you have that regime change. And the Jets will be the heads of this division if Bill Belichick retires, obviously, or Tom Brady in that fact. He might play until he's 50. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, let me know opinions, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.